far as I can tell, this has never happened in Australia before. An anti-discrimination tribunal, Tasmania's, has awarded a man $2,500 for being the victim of racism as a white man. Reg Watson is a Tasmanian history and is that victim. I spoke to him earlier. Reg Watson, thank you so much for your time. Now, this started when you got an email out of the blue from some bloke, Jason Wright Brown, using a University of Tasmania account. Do you know this man?
No, I don't know of him. I've never heard of him. And quite frankly, Andrew, I do not know what he's referring to or talking about.
Well, it started off by his email calling you an effing white, self-obsessed dog. What else did it say?
Well, it said also effing gutted white dog. He also threatened me in that he's going to wipe me out, that he knows where I live, and there'll be one warning only. It's all very peculiar, very aggressive, physically threatening and racially abusive.
Was it something to do with one of the history books you'd written?
Well, this is a funny thing, Andrew. Have discussed many aspects of Tasmanian history, indeed some aspects of Aboriginal history, with the situation at Risdon Cove, which was the first British settlement in Tasmania in 1803. But in his emails, there's no reference to what I've written about whatsoever. He only claims that I'm telling lies, that I'm making profit from these lies, and that I'm an academic. Well, I'm not an academic, Andrew. I'm just a plain Reg Watson. But what these lies are and what profit I am making, Andrew, I would not have a clue. I come back to the thing, I don't know what he's talking about.
So why did you go to the Anti-Discrimination Tribunal?
Well, I received that on the Sunday. I said I immediately went to the police. I sent the emails to the police, phoned them up, had some discussion, because it was life-threatening. On the Sunday, I first of all went to the Tasmanian University, and they were very good, actually. They expressed concern about my welfare. They all said this is unacceptable, and they stopped the email service being used by Jason Wright Brown. Now, on that day too, I went to the Equal Opportunity Tasmania. Now, they're the body that you go to for conciliatory purposes, reconciliation, if like. Now, that went for a few months. I presented my case. There was no response from, or little response from Mr. Wright Brown. Other than that, he entered some type of apology to me, saying, look, I've spoken to the elders, I will apologise. I didn't take that as sincere. I only took it that he apologised because he was advised to do so, and it didn't come from the heart. The conciliatory process at the Equal Opportunity decided there was enough material there and justification to go to the Anti-Tribunal, Anti-Discrimination Tribunal, who took on the case. Now, that was a prolonged situation. I presented...
Well, let me interrupt you there. One of the reasons it was prolonged was that the tribunal tried several times to get Jason Wright Brown to attend. Now, his response to me was a sign of the times. It showed a very tribal response in the very fashionable way, in the line with the new apartheid that's pretty in now on the left. He said, as if I give a damn about what the white government has to say. He said, I have been spoken to by Aboriginal elders about this, and I am not prepared to face the white government and be told their opinion. You slaughter my people and you steal our land to this day. So you tell the Commissioner if he wants justice, he needs to fix the past. And he then went on to call non-Aborigines European dogs and narcissistic pigs. I think this is a sign of where we're going with this apartheid politics. Have you come to know exactly who this, what is this guy? What's he up to? Where does he hang out?
Well, look, Hobart is a pretty small place. Everyone seems to know everyone. I have solicited people who knew this fellow. I've had 2 reports that have come back, and the reports are not pleasant of their liaison with this fellow. As I said, he claimed to be a chief of the Oyster Bay tribe. He seems to think that I was a member of that tribe, but he says my patriarchs are not of the sealers, and that he can be the only one that can welcome and has the power to welcome me back into the mob, as he called it. I've never been a part of this tribe. I don't know what he's referring to.
And the tribunal went ahead and then found that you had been discriminated against. I think this is a legal first, probably, certainly in Tasmania, I think probably in Australia. It found that you'd been discriminated against as a white man. It said the emails, and I'm quoting now, the emails appear to have been forwarded to you, at least in part, on the basis of you being white, and they contain content that casts your dissent in negative terms. Were you surprised to be, for a tribunal, to find you guilty of discrimination as a white man?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised, but I thought that they had no option to come to that conclusion. That may be naive, but it was some type of satisfaction that the conclusion was the correct one, and it could not be any other type of decision, in my opinion. And may I add, Andrew, what I hope that people like me, and I know it's happened before, people like me should not take this racial abuse, if not physical abuse, and lying down. There are laws there, and the laws apply to everyone in Australia, not just to a section of the population, but everyone in Australia, whether you've been here 10,000 years or whether you've been here for 5 minutes or whether you've been here for 238 years like my family. They are to be applied. I know it's a rigmarole, but go and ahead to do it, because in society we can't have this going on again and again and again.